Welcome everyone to week number 1 in Biology 120. This is an introductory biology course, and we are going to cover everything biology related. Biology, the study of life, and we're going to kick off this week with that particular topic. Okay, one of the first things that you need to do is find your OpenStax textbook. OpenStax. Just do a Google search. You will find these textbooks, and you're using the biology textbook, second edition, 2E. If you find this, that is our textbook. Read chapter 1, at least skim through it to find everything that you need to cover in that. To give yourself an opportunity to start delving into biology. So read that chapter 1. There are 2 videos for you to watch that are in your week 1 module. Watch those, you're going to need them, and read the article on giant viruses. Now before we go on, because you're going to have to answer some questions about viruses. I'm a microbiologist, right? Microbiologists study viruses, bacteria, fungi, all kinds of things, but we study viruses. And microbiologists do not consider viruses to be alive, because they don't meet all the criteria of life. They don't do things that all other life forms do. They do not reproduce on their own. And you can say, well, they cause their own reproduction. That's not the same thing. They do not reproduce on their own. They have to use the cellular machinery of another organism in order to produce viruses, new viruses. They don't do any metabolism. They don't consume food. They don't produce energy molecules in the form of ATP. There's so many things that they don't do. They don't respond to stimuli. So we do not consider viruses alive. Think of viruses this way. You know what a computer virus is, right? So what is it? It's just a bunch of code that gets into your computer and tells your computer what to do. Why do you think computer viruses were named viruses? Because they act just like viruses that we all know, like SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID. And that's an example of a virus, but viruses are not alive. They're just little bits of genetic information that change cells and make those cells do what the virus wants it to do. Okay, assignments this week. First of all, you have discussion board posts. There will be 3. One is called your initial post. So that's what you post yourself about you. You're going to tell us your background, where you're from, where do you live, what your interests are. Hobbies are always awesome. What are your career goals? What do you expect to do with this biology course and with your degree that you earn at SNHU? And how is this course going to help you in your career? A lot of you are going to be environmental science majors or are environmental science majors and want to go out there and do conservation or environmental science in some way. So of course, biology course is going to help you with that. Then you're going to explain the scientific method and why it's important in biology. And you're going to give us an example of how you use it in your everyday life. And I did this same post. I've already posted mine, and you'll see. I'm not too good with plants. Here I am, a biologist, and I can kill a plant so fast. Not outside, but house plants, I'm telling you, I am good at killing a house plant. So anyway, that's my example. Then your 2 response posts to your fellow classmates are due by Sunday night. Your initial post is due by Thursday night. You're going to talk to your classmates basically on the discussion board, and you're going to tell them, oh man, we have this in common. We're both environmental science majors. We both live in Alabama. We both love dancing, whatever it is. So talk about what you have in common, and also something that's very important. Share tips and resources that help you be successful in online learning. What do you use to help you get through your courses, especially online courses? Is there something that you use? YouTube videos. Hello, yes, of course you do. I do. What kind of resources do you use? So that we can all take a look at these and grow and learn things that we can use. All right. So you've got those 3 discussion board postings. One is due by Thursday night. The other 2 are due by Sunday night. And then you've got what's called a journal entry. So this is a writing assignment to explain to me and to us, to your audience, what you understand about this topic. Now, this is not taken word for word from some other source. This is what your writing is and what you have learned. Be sure to give credit for any ideas that are not your own that you're putting in your writing, but this should be your writing, what you understand, okay? This assignment is called To Be or Not to Be Alive. Make sure you answer all the questions because there's, I don't know, maybe 6 questions in there for you to answer or discuss. And one way that I keep something like this straight is I use Post-it notes. Yes, I do. I'll look at the requirements and I'll jot down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a word or 2 under each one. And then I keep that beside me, and when I do one, I check it off to make sure that I cover everything. Because if you don't, you know that some points are going to be missing. So just realize that. I'm going to post another video on life to maybe help you a little bit more with this assignment. That's just optional. If you want to watch it, you can. Let us use the 8 properties of life or characteristics of life from the textbook. I believe that there are 9 listed in your module overview, but there are 8, and these are the 8 that are listed in your textbook in that chapter 1, the properties of life. And these are the characteristics that any organism that is an organism would have. And it's not a choice. You don't, if you're an organism, you have to do all of these things. And that's why viruses are not considered living, because they don't do several of these things. They have order to them. Yes. They can even change, and they do change because of the way that they get replicated or copied inside of cells. But there are a lot of these characteristics that they do not meet. I'll cover these quickly. So every organism has order, and that means that there's some organized way that this particular being is set up. Are there molecules? Are there macromolecules, big ones like DNA and proteins and that sort of thing? Are there cells? Are there organelles in the cells? If you're a bigger organism with lots of cells, do you have tissues, organs, organ systems? There's order to life. Sensitivity and response to stimuli. Is there some way that this thing changes in response to the environment, things that happen to it? Now, your organism doesn't have to respond to everything. A tree is not going to get up and run across a stream and plant itself down on the other bank. You know, a tree doesn't run, but it has lots of other responses to stimuli. Moves according to the sun, can change according to the wind, the rain, other trees and plants around it, the animals that affect it. Yeah, it can respond to stimuli. Reproduction, of course, this is tremendously important because if you don't have reproduction, life can't continue into the next generations. Adaptation, which is change in response to whatever is there. And this really, really refers to populations instead of just a single organism. Growth and development. Does this thing get bigger? Does a cell, even if it's a single cell, does it get bigger over time? Does it develop? Does it change in some way? Regulation and homeostasis. Homeostasis is keeping everything in balance. And regulation is you determine what moves in and out. Okay? Even single-celled organisms do that. Because if they didn't have a cell membrane that determined what moved in and out of the cell, how could you keep your identity if you just let anything in or out? So that's regulation. Homeostasis is keeping everything in balance. And I think about this often when I see some of these fads, particularly in diets. Okay, alkaline water. Oh, this looks awesome. Let's drink some alkaline water because it's going to change our pH. No, your body is set up to keep your pH at about 7.3. And if the pH of your body changes, then that is a bad thing. Your cells will not function correctly. So yeah, you can drink that alkaline water all you want. You're just paying for stuff that is going to get neutralized. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, homeostasis is important. Energy processing, so taking in food, making energy molecules. It's kind of important if you're an organism. And evolution, a change in genes in a population over time. That's the definition of evolution. This has to happen. There has to be changes that can happen in response to the environment. If your organism and its population is so stagnant that it doesn't change, it won't survive. So evolution is one of the criteria. Okay. And then finally, so that's what to do this week. Finally, I want to give you some hints about Biology 120. First of all, always watch my videos in the announcement section. I post them either on Sunday night or Monday morning for every week. Watch the videos. I give you hints. I give you information. I tell you where things are. I give a lot of hints. So please watch my videos every week. Deadlines are important. The two deadlines to remember, Thursdays and Sundays. Thursdays, there's only one thing that's due every week, and that is the initial discussion board posting. That's due by Thursday night at midnight. Everything else is due by Sunday night at midnight. Okay? Follow the guidelines and rubrics for each assignment. And so you say, okay, guidelines I can figure out. Well, what are you supposed to do? What the heck is a rubric? A rubric is just a grading system. So it's a sheet that I have that I look at, or that's, of course, in the computer. And it says, this is what should be included if the person makes a perfect score. Now, this right here should be included if this person gets most of the points, and there's several things missing, and so this is the grade that they should get, or this section is completely missing and that's a 0. So that's the rubric, how the assignment is graded. What I'm looking for is telling me what I'm supposed to be looking for in each little section. Read the feedback that I give. I give feedback on everything, especially if there are any points missing. You're going to see that I've written something. Please read the feedback. This is important. And I am telling you, when we get to the final project, this is everything. You need to read my feedback so that you can fix your final project. So at the end, in week 7, when you turn in that final project, you will make a perfect score or close to it. Okay? Label everything with your name, the fact that this is Bio 120, your date, all of this is important. Label everything that you turn in. And when in doubt, or if you have any questions whatsoever, ask me, please. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Don't think that they're silly questions. I don't care if they're silly questions. If you need some help, I'm here for you. So m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I will post this everywhere, every week, just so you remember how you get in touch with me, and I will answer you as fast as I possibly can. Okay? I hope that you have a first week that is awesome and great, and I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to working with you. So let's get started.